So today's topic is very interesting, radioulnar joint. Let's start with our topic. Now, radioulnar joint is very important because special type of movement is taking place here. What kind of movement taking place here? Supination and pronation. Lot of MCQs. Lot of MCQs are asked from this topic, and it's supination and pronation is also an important topic for exam purpose. So these two bones, radius and ulna, are bone of forearm. Ulna is located medial to the radius. Now these two bones articulate with each other at three junctions. There are three joints formed between these two bones. There is superior radioulnar joint, middle radioulnar joint, and inferior radioulnar joint. Superior radioulnar joint and inferior radioulnar joint are type of pivot variety of synovial joint, and intermediate or middle radioulnar joint, they are syndesmosis type because there is fibrous articulation because of attachment of interosseous membrane between the interosseous borders of radius and ulna. The type of movement taking place at superior and inferior radioulnar joint are supination and pronation. So let's start with the first joint, that is superior radioulnar joint. So when you write about a joint or yes, come in. So when you study about the joint, you start with the type of variety it is. Yes, superior radioulnar joint किस variety का joint है ये आप सबको पता होना चाहिए. ये exam में MCQs में भी पूछा जाता है that it is pivot variety. There are two important examples of pivot joint. One is radioulnar joint, superior and inferior. Another is atlantoaxial joint. Come in. Yes, move in. And another example of pivot joint is atlantoaxial joint. So type of joint, it is pivot type. Second, articular surfaces. What are the surfaces participating in the joint? For radius, it is circumference of the radial head. Yes, circumference of the radius participate in the formation of superior radioulnar joint, and for ulna it is radial notch. So radial notch along with the annular ligament which encircles the circumference of radial head, they form a fibro-osseous ring. Osseous, bony comes from the radial notch, and fibrous, that is fibrous band of annular ligament. Yes, so articular surfaces are formed by the circumference of the radius and radial notch, and this joint is stabilized by the annular ligament. Next will be the capsules or the ligaments of the joints which are attached here. So what are the ligaments joined here? First of all, every joint it has its capsular ligament. So the capsule of superior radioulnar joint, it continues superiorly with that of the elbow joint, and inferiorly it is attached to the annular ligament. Second is synovial membrane that lines the joint cavity. The synovial membrane inferiorly, it is not attached to the annular ligament, passes deep to the annular ligament and is attached to the radial neck. Then third is annular ligament itself. Annular ligament क्या है? It's a fibrous band which forms a ring around the head of radius, and it is attached to the margins of radial notch of ulna. Yes, ulna के ऊपर जो radial notch है, it has two everted margins, anterior and posteriorly. These two margins give attachment to the annular ligament. So surfaces, then the ligaments, and one more ligament is there which is quadrate ligament. It extends from the neck of radius. Yes. It extends from the neck of radius towards the supinator fossa, or just below the radial notch. It is attached to the ulna. Now it is located inferiorly, so it limits the radioulnar joint, superior radioulnar joint inferiorly. So what we have discussed till now for the latecomers, we have discussed about superior radioulnar joint, that it is pivot variety of synovial joint. The surfaces participating in the formation of these joints are circumference of the radial head and radial notch of ulna. Then the ligaments present here, capsular ligament which continues from that of the elbow joint and attached to the annular ligament. Second, we have synovial membrane. Okay, synovial membrane lines the capsular ligament and it extends deeper to the neck of the radius. Third is annular ligament, which is a fibrous band around the head of the radius. It covers the fourth-fifth part of the radial head and it is attached to the margins of radial notch of the ulna. Then last one is quadrate ligament. This ligament, it extends transversely from the radius, neck of the radius to the supinator fossa of ulna. Now blood supply, the vessels which are participating in the formation of anastomosis around elbow joint also gives blood supply to this joint. What are the vessels present around here? There is superior and inferior collateral artery, radial collateral arteries and ulnar collateral. These are branches coming from the brachial and profunda brachii artery. Then the nerves which are passing through around this joint also gives nerve supply. For example, musculocutaneous, medial nerve, radial nerve and the ulnar nerve. Now the movements, what are the types of movement taking place here? Supination and pronation. We will discuss this supination and pronation in the last. Yes, so this is all about superior radioulnar joint. Now, these are the headings that you have to cover whenever the question is asked about the joint. What is the type of the joint? What are the bones involving? Articular surfaces, then the ligaments, then yes, it's blood supply, nerve supply and movements. In the movement, we will talk about how the movement is being carried about and what are the muscles which are responsible for these movements. That we will discuss later. Then the second one is inferior radioulnar joint. Inferior radioulnar joint, again it is type of pivot joint of a pivot variety of synovial joints. What are the surfaces participating here? Now as we all know, you have seen ulna, the head of ulna is directed inferiorly. So here there is articulation of the head of ulna with the ulnar notch of radius. On the radius, at the lower end on the medial side, we have ulnar notch for the articulation of the head of ulna. So what are the articular surfaces here? Head of ulna and ulnar notch on the lower end of the radius. Now what are the capsular attachments? So obviously the articular margins give attachment to the capsule of inferior radioulnar joint. Inside it is again lined by the synovial membrane. Now the synovial membrane, it extends upwards to a distance and it forms a sac. So it is known as recessus sacciformis. It is a sac which is formed by the upward extension of synovial membrane of inferior radioulnar joint. Yes, am I clear to all of you? So what are the surfaces? Ulnar notch and head of ulna, ligament, capsular and synovial ligament. Now the third one is important one. There is a triangular fibrocartilaginous disc which is known as articular disc. I have discussed with some of you people why ulna does not participate in the formation of wrist joint. It is because of this presence of this triangular disc which limits the ulna from participating in the formation of wrist joint. Only lower end of the radius participate in the formation of wrist joint. So there is this triangular disc of inferior radioulnar joint, articular disc. The apex of the triangle is attached to the styloid process of ulna. At the lower end, have you seen posterior-medially there is a styloid process? So the styloid process gives attachment to the apex of articular disc of inferior radioulnar joint and its base is attached to the lower margins of ulnar notch of radius. So we have this articular disc on the lower side which is attached to the lower margins of ulnar notch and its apex is attached to the styloid process of ulna. So much so that ulna is restricted from participating in the formation of wrist joint. So question is asked why ulna does not participate, because there is attachment of this articular disc inferiorly which limits the ulna from participating in the formation of wrist joint. Now, what are the blood supplies and nerve supply? So, the anterior introitious vessels and the nerve, they actually supply this joint. Now, let me ask you a question. Anterior introitious and posterior introitious vessels are branches of, are the branches of vessels we are talking about. Anterior introitious and posterior introitious vessels, these are coming from common introitious artery, and common introitious artery is coming from ulnar artery. Now the second question is, anterior introitious and posterior introitious nerves are branches of, see, anterior introitious is a deeper branch of median nerve and posterior introitious is deeper branch of radial nerve. So vessels की बात अगर हम करेंगे, so vessels are coming from ulnar artery from common introitious, and nerves जो है anterior introitious is supplying the deeper muscles of anterior compartment of forearm. So these are coming from the median nerve, and posterior introitious supplying the extensor compartment of the forearm, which is branch of radial nerve. They also supply inferior radio-ulnar joint. Now type of movement taking place here again, supination and pronation. Now the third and the last joint between these two bones is intermediate, yes, syndesmosis, that is intermediate radio-ulnar joint or middle radio-ulnar joint. Is kind of fibrous joint because of attachment of introitious membrane between these two bones. Now this introitious membrane, the fibers, they are running downward and medially. Now what is the function of this introitious membrane? Why it is required? First of all, it is gives attachment to these two bones, yes. The medial border of radius, which is sharp, and the lateral border of the ulna, which is again a sharpish border of the ulna. So both of these are known as introitious border because they give attachment to the introitious membrane. Now second function is it gives attachment to the muscles. Anteriorly, what are the muscles of the deeper compartment of the forearm? What you have seen in the cadaver, anyone? Deeper compartment of forearm, flexor pollicis longus and flexor digitorum profundus and pronator quadratus. So anteriorly it gives attachment to these three muscles. Posteriorly it gives attachment to pollicis, abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis longus and extensor indicis. So it articulates these two bones and it gives muscular attachment. Now the third and the most important function is anyone? It is transmission of body weight. Transmission of weight from the radius to the ulna. As we have discussed just now that ulna does not participate in the formation of wrist joint. So anything that you hold, the weight will be transmitted first from the carpals to the radius, and then the weight has to be transmitted to the ulna because the participation of ulna in the formation of this elbow joint is more as compared to radius. So weight will be transferred from the ulna to the elbow joint and then to the humerus, yes. So what will happen? This weight is transferred from radius to the ulna through introitious membrane. So these are the functions of this introitious membrane. First is attachment, articulation. Second is attachment. Third is weight transmission. Also, as you can see in the picture at the upper part, yes, there is again a ligament which is oblique cord. Oblique cord is attached just above this introitious membrane. Its fibers are running opposite to the direction of the fibers of introitious membrane. They are running upward and laterally from this radial tuberosity to the ulnar tuberosity. So there is a gap created between these two, oblique cord and the introitious membrane. This upper gap, it gives the passage to the posterior introitious vessels to pass into the posterior compartment of the forearm. Likewise, in the lower part, there is again, it is pierced by anterior introitious vessels which are transmitted to the posterior compartment through this lower part. Okay, so these gaps provide the passage to the vessels from anterior to the posterior compartment. So what kind of joint it is? Syndesmosis. वाइवा में बहुत commonly पूछा जाता है type of middle radio-ulnar joint. Now this oblique cord, there is important MCQ here कि oblique cord के fibers आ कहाँ से रहे हैं? So morphologically it represents degenerated part of flexor pollicis longer. Okay, what is oblique cord? There is a fibrous attachment running from the radial tuberosity to ulnar tuberosity, and the fibers are considered as remnants of the flexor pollicis. Some fibers of this flexor pollicis longus, they degenerate and form oblique cord. Now the last and the most important topic for this class is supination and pronation. Short note usually is asked on supination and pronation. So I think all of you are aware what is supination and what is pronation. Yes? Beggars? Supinate and king? Pronate. So और क्या होता है supination pronation हमें क्यों चाहिए? Basically why these movements are required? Very important movement. You pick up the food and take it to the mouth. So supination pronation is required. Yes, so what is supination? Basically in the semi-flexed position of the forearm, it rotates and turns the palm upward. This will be supination. And if the palm is turned downwards, this is pronation. Now this movement is taking place at both joints, superior and inferior. Fibrous पे नहीं होगा, fibrous तो syndesmosis है, no movement takes place. So superior and inferior radioulnar joint पे there is supination and pronation. Now what are the muscles that brings about these movements? For supination it is supinator, which is the muscle of extensor, deeper muscle of extensor compartment of forearm, and biceps brachii, which is muscle of anterior compartment of arm. Yes, so supination is brought about by supinator and biceps brachii. Supinator in the when the arm, this forearm is extended and biceps का जो होता है semi flexed position के अंदर, ठीक है. So powerful supinator is biceps brachii. In the semi flexed position, it rotates the forearm. So powerful अगर हम दोनों में से supinator का नाम supinator है, and usually it is asked in the viva question and students answer supinator. But basically the important muscle here, powerful supinator muscle is biceps brachii. Second, pronation. Pronation, नाम से पता चला, there are two muscles, pronator quadratus and pronator teres. Now pronator quadratus is the main muscle which brings about pronation, assisted by smaller muscle which is pronator teres. This pronator quadratus is a deeper muscle of the anterior compartment of forearm, which is located inferiorly. There is a band-like muscle here. This is pronator quadratus. And above, here we have two heads of the pronator teres. So these are the muscles which brings about pronation and supination. ठीक है? So ये supination pronation है क्या? Basically it is the movement which is taking place in the forearm bones, which rotates it upward or downward. So this rotation is taking place around a vertical axis. It is a uniaxial movement. So this vertical axis, it passes through the center of the head of radius. So the vertical axis along which the supination pronation takes place, this passes through the center of the radius above and through the styloid process of the ulna downwards. Okay. समझ में आया क्या बात कर रहे हैं हम? एक्सिस की बात कर रहे हैं जिसके अराउंड सुपिनेशन प्रोनेशन परफॉर्म होता है. वो एक्सिस कहाँ से पास होती है? फ्रॉम द सेंटर ऑफ द हेड ऑफ रेडियस अबव टू द styloid process of the ulna below. Now in the case of supination, this axis is movable. This axis moves towards forwards and medially in the supination, and it moves backward and laterally in the pronation. And how does it move? That we will discuss. So this condition in the first picture here, look at this picture. In the first picture, we have these two bones parallel to each other. There is axis which is passing forward and medially. In this condition, the movement will be supination. In supination, these two bones are parallel to each other and this axis is present forward and medially. Now during pronation, during rotatory movements, the head of the radius in the upper part, it spins in the annular ring. Yes, at the upper part, the head of the radius it spins, and in the lower part it spirals and crosses the ulna towards the medial side. So that this vertical axis, it passes backward and laterally. In this condition, what will be movement taking place? Pronation, which is assisted by pronator quadratus and pronator teres. And in this condition, when the two bones are parallel to each other, this is supination. So this is all about today's class. It's a very short and crisp topic, very important. Now let us discuss the MCQ जो इसमें बनते हैं, ठीक है? First of all, type of the joints: superior radioulnar joint, inferior radioulnar joint, intermediate radioulnar joint. छोटी क्लास की तो मजा आता है ना? Intermediate syndesmosis. Now the movement taking place, supination and pronation. Like अभी बहुत इजी लग रहा है, तो स्पॉटिंग में दोनों बोन देते हैं तो कोई फ्लेक्शन लिखता है, कोई एक्सटेंशन लिखता है, ठीक है, कोई एबडक्शन एडक्शन लिखता है, पर सुपिनेशन प्रोनेशन कोई नहीं लिखता है. सो अब अगर आपकी स्पॉटिंग आती है तो सबको क्या लिखना है? सुपिनेशन एंड प्रोनेशन. कहाँ पे, किस बात पे? मूवमेंट टेकिंग प्लेस एट सुपीरियर एंड inferior radioulnar joint. Yes. Now, what is supination, pronation? We will discuss later. Now, what are the other MCQs? First, we have discussed that the oblique cord is remnant or considered as degenerated part of which muscle? Flexor pollicis longus. Then supination and pronation, vertical axis passes through center of head of radius and lower part of the ulna through the styloid process. Which one is powerful, supination or pronation? Which movement is powerful movement, supination and pronation? Yes, you three boys, what are you doing? Which movement is a powerful movement? Anyone? How many of you are saying supination? Raise your hand. And pronation? Now, why supination is powerful? Stand up and answer. Supination is the right answer. Now, why it is a powerful movement? You have to move against the gravity. Yes. So, this is anti-gravity movement. So, it's a powerful movement. And in pronation, you have, this is supported by the gravity. So, which one will be the powerful one? Supination. Which one is powerful supinator muscle? Biceps brachii. Now, what are the other movements which are taking place because of supination, pronation? एक तो आप खाना खा सकते हो, दूसरा और क्या काम कर सकते हो आप? Yes. When you have to tighten the screw, supination is used. When you have to loosen the screw, pronation is used. Yes. So this is all about today's class. Let me take the attendance.